Zelda Breath of the Wild 2.
Dose.
I'm very excited. Let's talk about it. Zelda Breath of the Wild was amazing and could be, it might even be the best game we played of this console generation so far.
It's quite possible.
It's debatable at least, but also it's too hard for me to say this so early on, but I feel like it's in my top 10 games I've ever played. And I can't really fully say that till I give it more time.
I think I would agree with that as well. Like for myself,
it's good.
It's weird because I like open world games, but I kind of have a love-hate relationship with a lot of them because I feel like some of them are just very unfocused. They become super monotonous because there's too much.
You kind of forget
you're like not playing a story at all. You're just, go do random stuff. But Zelda, even though it was extremely open, it just had a very, you felt like you had something to do at all times. You were constantly like, I have to find these memories. Okay, I have to get up on that airship floating.
Why was I asleep for so long?
Yeah, exactly.
Where am I? I loved how they did that story.
The point of the game was always on your mind, and you were always trying to figure out what happened and where you needed to go, and it was just very fun. Yep. I've never played another game quite like that.
Yep, and not to spoil it if you guys haven't played it, but I mean, you wake up, you're trying to find your lost memories and understand what's going on, and it is cool because there's no you need to go here first sort of thing. You literally just go and start exploring, and when you find a memory, you don't know where it took place in your memories.
Yes.
You keep trying to piece it together, wait, what happened here? It was cool.
I loved how they did like your tablet in the game had those pictures, and I mean your main goal pretty much was, here are these pictures, go find where they were taken. And when you'd get to that area where that picture was taken, you'd have a flashback of what happened there. It was a pretty
cool.
Awesome way to do that. Anyway, to get to the point of this video, Breath of the Wild 2 has been announced. It's actually coming out. We've seen some trailers for it. They look amazing.
If you guys haven't missed any of that, please go watch it.
Yeah, go check them out.
Yeah.
But we don't have a ton of information. So, I mean, we want to just talk about things that we would like to see in the game, and we want to know what you would like to see in Breath of the Wild 2.
Let me tell you this. First off, I wanted to talk Collector's Edition. Do you guys want to see a new Collector's Edition return for Breath of the Wild 2? And did you ever get your hands on the original? Because it was really hard to get, and I somehow just got lucky and woke up 20 minutes before my alarm was supposed to go up at 6 o'clock. I usually wake up at 6:25, and then went on there real quick to see if it's available. It was available for 5 minutes, and I got a hold of one, and I was like, what was the chances of me just waking up earlier?
And this beauty came with it.
Yep. Which came with, a map, CD, coin.
That thing.
Yep. We'd like to know, too.
Sweet.
Do you want a collector's edition, too? We saw one, randomly pop up on some site, but do you want to see one make a comeback, and what would you like to see available for the little statue little piece?
I mean, for me, I think it doesn't even need to be said. The paraglider.
It's where you'd climb up to a new place, and then all of a sudden, look in the distance and be like, oh, wow, I want to go climb over there. And then you'd be like, up.
Yes. Before we
go, glider.
Every game needs a paraglider now.
Yeah,
there's so many games that I've been mad that didn't have one. I loved Ghost of Tsushima. I just beat it the whole time I was playing it because it has some very Breath of the Wild
elements,
things to it. There's so many times I'd climb up something in Ghost of Tsushima and be like, man, I wish I could just use the paraglider to just go over there. Right?
Yeah, just put it in there. Who tried to land on a horse from it? Did you ever try that? Just on
I don't remember if I did. I've tried a bunch of stuff.
That has to make a return. But do you think it'd be cool if they made... This is kind of a topic I've seen, if they made Zelda playable. Not as the full character. I'm saying in this game that it looks like they break apart maybe. That you both are doing two different things. She has more magic powers, which could be really cool. That's totally different from Link's play style.
Yeah. No, I think that'd be very fun. I mean, you get to play as her in the Super Smash Brothers games, so I feel like people...
She's one of my mains.
Yeah, she's good in Super Smash Brothers. No, I think that'd be very cool. I mean, and we've seen games like that before. I mean, even just with the Resident Evil remasters lately, plays Claire and Leon, or like Jill and Carlos. It's Carlos? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can remember that.
Yep.
You know, but like that's a cool way to do it. I actually be really interested in that, to where you play part of the story as Zelda, part of it is Link, and like it could jump back and forth like until they meet up in the story.
Yeah.
Their different parts of their story make sense together. Like that could be very fun.
Like one of the first games I remember kind of doing that was
Maybe they
I
make
think Resident Evil 2 even.
Yeah.
When you first switched off with Ada and then Leon in certain parts. You know, so I don't know, but that could be cool. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. I know it's always hard because like Zelda is such a obviously huge franchise, and some people just are always so scared of change. But it's like it might be cool. I mean, if they do it right, I'd be open to it.
I mean, in a lot of ways, Breath of the Wild was a big change from every
like
other
very much
Zelda
like the
game.
original, most like the original than everything.
Well, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, compared to, like, other Zelda games I remember,
More
like
recent ones,
Majora's
for sure.
Mask and stuff like that, like, it's definitely...
That was a different one, too.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but no, yeah.
I mean, almost all the Zelda games have their own thing, are different in a way.
You go to
yeah.
the dungeons, you get the new weapon at that dungeon to move on to another dungeon.
I think Breath of the Wild did so well and is so well loved by a lot of people. I don't see them changing a ton. I don't see them changing gameplay almost whatsoever. I think it'll just be a continuation of the story. And I'm sure they'll make like quality of life improvements that make certain things easier.
You have a car.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of a horse. No, so that actually brings up a good point. That would you like it? We obviously, I think, want the same type of open world-esque, but maybe something different. I don't know how they're going to change to a different land or whatever, but I meant, do you want dungeons this time around?
The shrines?
The shrines. You know, let's say there's somewhere between 4 to 8 dungeons instead of the shrines, and then the, what am I trying to say? The Guardian.
I don't know. That's a hard decision, because I liked the shrines.
It's kind of tough, though. Like, a lot of people kind of miss... Now we have the Breath of the Wild world to make it different, though. I feel like if they have the shrines again... Everything might just feel like the same game and repeat.
Yeah,
I know it's not.
The thing about the shrines is like the shrines made sense because you could level up, basically just puzzles. And I do really like puzzle games sometimes, so I felt like that was kind of fun. You were constantly trying to find the shrines, and once you got the tablet would beep when you got close to one. You're like, "Where's that thing at?" Like you start walking everywhere trying to find it. So I really like that. I don't know. Maybe they can do a way to do both. Because I mean, you're right. Like the Guardians were kind of like your dungeons.
Yeah,
in
a
a
little
way.
bit longer. Which those are still kind of short in a way compared to the older.
Though.
No, they were, but like if they do 4 to 8, I don't know.
That is, with Breath of the Wild, I did feel like not exactly, but almost the whole world was slightly a little bit like a dungeon too. Just like because there were always enemies coming after you, and they weren't always easy. You'd just be running somewhere and something would. So it wasn't like
I'm not gonna go in this area anymore.
Yeah, I remember some of the older Zelda games. You didn't fight a ton of stuff until you got into a dungeon. You know, a lot of RPGs or JRPGs tend to be like that.
No, like Ocarina of Time, it was. I mean, you kind of just went to there was random like skeleton enemies that would pop up, but it wasn't like you really got to that stuff till you went to the dungeon. Which the Breath of the Wild could be a good mixture between Breath of the Wild 2. Sorry, could be a good mixture between the old and the new kind of combined, which I think they're gonna do. We'll see, but
I honestly almost don't even care either way. I just really like Breath of the Wild so much.
Yeah, it was so good.
Anything in the Breath of the Wild world just I think would be fun.
We just want to hear too. What is your guys' thoughts too? Of course.
What do you guys want?
What do you want to see? What do you want to show return? You know, could the world just flood over Wind Waker 2 / Breath of the Wild 2? No, I'm just kidding. But breakable weapons. Would you like to see that gone?
Possibly.
I know, because it's funny because it didn't bother me as much as a lot of people, because a lot of those weapons that broke, you can go right back to that location and get them. But at the same time, if I had to choose, I don't want them to break either. Like, because it'd be who all bought a house and displayed their weapons on the. I don't know if you did that. I bought a house in Breath of the Wild, and you can display your best weapons all in your house. And then I was like, I don't even want to use it because I don't want it to break. I want to keep it here in my house on display.
Really? I did not do that.
Yeah. But
I would not mind if the weapons were invincible. If the
like
weapons are breakable, I would like for them to not break as easy. Because I did, especially at the beginning of the game. Like the very beginning, I feel like it was like you get a weapon, you'd fight 2 not that difficult of enemies, and like
then you're quickly
running around looking for new weapons.
Because they could make it like Dark Souls or Bloodborne, where your weapon is very slow progression, damage, and then you just go repair it for cheap or something at some place.
If I remember right, I feel like I eventually got to the point to where, like, as I was fighting enemies that had stronger weapons that I'd want to use, it was like a constant, like, find a camp area, just beat them, and then take take the best weapon I could find out of that camp and keep going, drop the one I was using, because it's like, okay, well, this is going to break soon. Like, until I got the Master Sword, which then I was scared to use the Master Sword because it could break as well.
It didn't like completely break though. It gave you like 30 minutes to where you had to wait till it rejuvenated or whatever.
So it was like I tried to use it only when I knew I needed to. Yeah, I'd be okay with breakable weapons going away, but I mean that was part of the game too.
No, I'm okay with it though.
It was an interesting part where like you were always trying to find new weapons too. If the weapons don't break, they need to definitely have a good system of weapon progression where you're wanting to change them out for newer weapons as you can get a hold of them and find them.
Or just different sweet ones. There was a fire sword that I had.
That's what I mean.
And like, an ice sword, and like where you have different weapons to use in different areas.
Different things, yeah.
Like I go up the snow mountain. All right, I'm going to get out my fire sword. The more elements they add like that, I think the cooler it could be.
I think that would be cool.
To me, it would be okay too if they even make this one darker. The other one was kind of a bright, pretty world, where this one ends up being a darker style game where something happened.
The rumors of a new Switch coming in early 2021 are true, and the Zelda 35th year anniversary is next summer. I feel like it's very likely we could see the next Breath of the Wild next summer come on a new Switch. And again, like I've said before, I don't think the new Switch will get rid of the current Switch. I think it'll just be an upgrade.
It's going to be a pro level.
I think it'll be like a pro. But I think that would be cool, kind of like what you were saying. I know you meant darker in the sense of like the story and like the overall world and feel of it. But it could be kind of cool if it's like graphically a little more like impressive. I know they've already shown some, at least trailers of it, but that doesn't mean it can't look better. I mean, the first trailers for Breath of the Wild, the first time we ever saw it, was meant for the Wii U.
Yep.
The Switch wasn't even a thing.
It's fun. We talked to one of our subscribers about this too, where they were like, I've been trying to hold off because I think a new one's coming with Zelda. And we're like, well, we haven't really heard. I mean, there's always rumors, but then all of a sudden, seemed like a pretty legit one coming now. And now it's like, man, maybe they are holding off Zelda for when a pro.
I know. I remember
it may work for both, but you know.
Yeah, I had responded to them and was like, it doesn't look like anything's new coming out. And then like a week later, you remember you called me. You're like, you might want to respond back to them and let them know that there's some pretty serious looking rumors of it.
But that's the thing too, though. If it comes out at the same time, though, they're not going to make it not work for the other Switch. So
I don't think
it could
they
be
will.
slight. I mean, it may not even be any difference, but
I don't think they will. I think the Switch is still too new
Yep.
to completely kill it off right now.
So, anyways, yeah, we'd like to hear your guys' thoughts though too, as far as what you would like to see, different improvements, just even on the new design, elements of gameplay. Do you want to see like some of the old school weapons make a return from Zelda's, like, you know, the hook shot or whatever it might be?
Should you just start off with the Master Sword?
Yeah, what's gonna happen with that? Because he had it.
Someone's gonna have to set up the game to where you have to progress. They're not just gonna be like, all right, coming right off of Breath of the Wild 1.
Ganon's gonna sneeze. It's gonna knock your freaking Master Sword out of your hand and fly to another part of the map. And you're like, oh my gosh,
they're gonna show the beginning where Zelda and Link are together. Yeah, exactly. Ganon's gonna come back up and send them to a different world completely. I don't know.
Without the Master Sword.
Or anything they just leveled up.
Yeah, I know exactly. Oh no, I only have one heart. I know, it's gonna be interesting. I'm really excited for it though, but we just want to hear what you guys would like to see, what you think's gonna be in there. Very excited. We do bold prediction? Do you think? What are we gonna guess? Do you think summer next year?
I think it'll be summer next year. That makes sense. Breath of the Wild's one of the biggest Switch games that's happened. If they are really coming out with an upgraded Switch next year, and it's the Zelda 35th anniversary, I feel like that just makes sense to have Breath of the Wild 2 then. So I think that's the game that most people would be excited for on a new Switch system. You know?
I would. And I'm gonna get it. The new Switch Pro, I guess. I don't even know what it is, or if it's coming. But I'm gonna get it.
Unless it's just one of those things that's like, now
without drift. Without the Joy-Con drift.
That would just be new Joy-Cons.
I know, I don't know. Too long a video? Hey, what's your thoughts?
Talk too much.
Tell us. We're excited. Are you excited?
Let us know.
Thanks, guys. Let us know what you want to see.
Yeah, bye.
Share. Subscribe, maybe.
Dude, just do that stuff.
You guys should. Honestly, it'd be super helpful for us. I can't even talk anymore. We've been talking so long. No, we appreciate the support, guys. Like, subscribe, comment. Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, for real. Just do it. You might as well.
Nike.
Just comment, like, subscribe. It'll make you happy.